6:15 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Lakshman Fonseca and read by Mario Vijayavardhana. The headlines. Sri Lanka celebrates the 76th Independence Day. The Prime Minister of Thailand participated at the National Independence Day celebrations as a guest of honor. World leaders congratulate Sri Lanka on the 76th Independence Day. 211 officers and 1,239 other ranks of the army promoted on the 76th Independence Day celebrations. The decision by the Ministry of Finance to fine 50,000 rupees on individuals above 18 years of age for not obtaining a tax identification number was halted. The Meta CEO apologizes to the families who say their children had been harmed by social media. Sri Lanka celebrates its 76th Independence Day today in a solemn manner. President Ranil Wickremesinghe and the Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena jointly presided over the celebrations at the Golface Green in Colombo on the theme Let's Build a New Country. The Prime Minister of Thailand, Srettha Thavisin, participated at the National Independence Day celebrations as a guest of honour on the invitation of President Wickremesinghe. The national anthem and Jayamangala Gatha was sung by a choir of 100 students. This year's celebrations prioritise the Tri-Services Guard of Honour segments according to the Ministry of Public Administration, Home Affairs, provincial councils and local government. The War Heroes Commemorative Parade was held with the participation of 3,042 members from the Army, 917 members from the Navy, 605 members from the Air Force, 299 members from the Police, 209 members from the Police Special Task Force, 379 members from the Civil Defence Force, 500 members from the National Cadet Corps, 22 retired officers and 29 differently abled officers. The parade displayed over 100 armoured vehicles, some of which have been locally fabricated and manufactured. Several world leaders, including His Holiness Pope Francis, King Charles III of the UK, the US President Joe Biden, President Vladimir Putin of Russia, the Chinese President Xi Jinping and the Indian President Draupadi Murmu congratulated Sri Lanka on the 76th Independence Day. The President's media division said Emperor Naruhito of Japan, President Yoon Suk Yeol of South Korea, President Tharman Shanmugaratnam of Singapore, the President of Libya, Dr. Mohammed Y. Al Menfi, the Governor-General of Australia, General David Hurley, as well as the President of Pakistan, the President of Bangladesh, the Emir of the State of Kuwait were among other leaders who congratulated Sri Lanka. President Ranil Wickremesinghe, the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, promoted 211 officers of the Sri Lanka Army and 1,239 other ranks of the Army to their respective next rank as part of the 76th Independence Day celebrations. Accordingly, 2 brigadiers were promoted to the rank of Major General, 12 colonels were promoted to the rank of Brigadier, 13 lieutenant colonels were promoted to the rank of Colonel, 17 majors were promoted to the rank of Lieutenant Colonel, 29 captains were promoted to the rank of Major, 13 lieutenants were promoted to the rank of Captain, and 125 second lieutenants were promoted to the rank of Lieutenant. Meanwhile, 1,239 other rankers were also promoted to their respective next rank today. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The decision by the Ministry of Finance to fine 50,000 rupees on individuals above 18 years of age for not obtaining a tax identification number TIN by the 1st of February was halted. The ministry said it has been decided to use the National Identification Card number for initial registration processes in this regard. The ministry added the committee appointed has decided to convert TIM through the NIC number from the databases of the Departments of the Registration of Persons and the Motor Traffic. Meanwhile, the Inland Department said that although a significant number of applications had been received last month, they had only been able to complete 45,000 individual tax files and issue the respective TINs. Measures will be taken to sentence those found guilty of civil offences to house arrest in a bid to control the rate of overcrowding in the country's prisons. State Minister of Justice and Prison Affairs Anuradha Jayaratne said steps have been taken to draft the relevant laws in this regard. He said that the Legal Draftsman's Department is already working in this regard and the draft is slated to be presented in Parliament later this year. The State Minister also said that parallel to these measures, several acts including the Bail Act will have to be amended.
The main news story is brought to you by Sinhala Veda Mahatmya.
The central bank says the gross official reserves improved to $4.4 billion by the end of December 2023. This included a swap facility from the People's Bank of China equivalent to around $1.4 billion, which is subject to conditionally unusability. The central bank releasing the external sector performance for December 2023 said that workers' remittances amounted to $570 million in December 2023 in comparison to $537 million in November 2023 and $476 million in December 2022. The central bank added the exchange rate continued to remain stable during December 2023 and recorded an appreciation of 12.1% during 2023.
The main news story was brought to you by Sinhala Mahatmya.
And now in Watchlight, the police warned that the recent spike in road accident deaths and injuries has yet again prompted the authorities to call for driver discipline. The police say the lack of road discipline has been identified as the main cause of road deaths. The traffic police added eating, drinking and using mobile phones or even fiddling with the vehicle radio while on the move can distract a driver and cause accidents. The police spokesman said the worst interruption is paying attention to the phone. He said it takes only 5 seconds to send or read a text, but within those 5 seconds, anything undesirable can occur and it would lead to a fatal accident.
Coming up, world news.
In world news headlines now, Namibia's President Hage Geingob has died at the age of 82. A new analysis reveals more than half of Gaza's buildings have been damaged or destroyed. The Meta's CEO apologizes to families who say their children had been harmed by social media. Namibia's President Hage Geingob has died at the age of 82 while receiving medical treatment at a hospital in the capital Windhoek. A veteran of the country's independence struggle, Mr. Geingob had been diagnosed with cancer and revealed the details to the public last month. According to the Constitution, Vice President Nagola Mbuba will now act as president as there was less than a year left of Mr. Geingob's second term in office. Presidential and parliamentary elections had already been scheduled for November. More than half of Gaza's buildings have been damaged or destroyed since Israel launched its retaliation for the Hamas attacks of the 7th of October. A new analysis by the BBC reveals. Detailed before and after imagery also shows how the bombardment of southern and central Gaza has intensified since the start of December, with the city of Khan Yunis bearing much of the brunt of Israel's military action. Israel has repeatedly told Gazans to move south for their own safety. Across Gaza, residential areas have been left ruined, previously busy shopping streets reduced to rubble, universities destroyed and farmlands churned up, with 10 cities springing up on the southern border to house many thousands of people left homeless. According to the United Nations, about 1.7 million people, more than 80% of Gaza's population, are displaced, with nearly half crammed in the far southern end of the strip. Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg has apologized to families who say their children had been harmed by social media during a fiery hearing in the US Senate. Mr. Zuckerberg, who runs Instagram and Facebook, turned to them and said no one should go through what they had. He and the bosses of TikTok, Snap, X and Discord were questioned for almost 4 hours by senators from both parties. Lawmakers wanted to know what they are doing to protect children online. Legislation is currently going through Congress which aims to hold social media companies to account for material posted on their platforms. Analysts said on Wednesday's hearing was a rare opportunity for the US senators to question tech bosses. And now the main points of the World News segment once again. Namibia's President Hage Geingob has died at the age of 82. A new analysis reveals more than half of Gaza's buildings have been damaged or destroyed. Meta's CEO apologizes to families who say their children had been harmed by social media. That was World News. In development news now. Sri Lanka's Trade Ministry has offered small and medium enterprises suppliers for supermarket chains to register for VAT voluntarily to stay competitive in supply chains. The Trade Minister Nalin Fernando said that the supermarket chains operating in the country avoid getting suppliers from the SME who are not VAT registered. The minister added some supermarket chains have asked suppliers to add the 18% VAT to their margins, increasing the prices of supplies from the SME companies. The SME players have expressed their willingness to get VAT registered in order to survive and added that VAT registrations will also increase the revenue of the government as well, as the minister said.
Moving on with sports news.
The leading Sri Lanka Challenge International Badminton Tournament is set to commence tomorrow at the Dadilla Sports Complex in Galle. The prestigious tournament marks the first international badminton tournament in Sri Lanka in 9 years in Galle. Organisers said elite shuttlers from 20 nations will be in action. The tournament, sanctioned by both the Badminton World Federation and Badminton Asia, will be inaugurated by Sri Lanka Badminton President Rohan De Silva. The grand opening is scheduled for tomorrow, with the final matches slated for the 11th of February beginning at 10 a.m. In the men's singles category, Sri Lanka's rising star Thiren Nathasinghe is seeded 4th, following the top and bottom seed spots held by India's M. Manjunath and S. Subramaniam respectively. The closing ceremony will be attended by the Sports Minister Harian Fernando, where the victors will be awarded total cash prize of $15,000.
Go ekak thiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු ගීන හැබැයි කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all new NSB Ithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
The Ministry of Power and Energy is to call for expressions of interest internationally from interested strategic investors for joint development of the Trincomalee oil tank farm. The Ceylon Petroleum Corporation and the Ceylon Petroleum Storage Terminals Limited CPSTL Chairman Salia Vikramasuri revealed the Ministry of Power and Energy would call for expressions of interest internationally for the development of the 61 oil tanks within the next few weeks.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekak thiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු ගීන හැබැයි කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all new NSB Ithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
And now in economic news, Sri Lanka's Trade Ministry has offered small and medium enterprises SME suppliers for supermarket chains to register for VAT voluntarily to stay competitive in supply chains. The Trade Minister Harian Fernando said that the supermarket chains operating in the country avoid getting suppliers from SME who are not VAT registered. The minister added some supermarket chains have asked suppliers to add the 18% VAT to their margins, increasing the prices of supplies from the SME companies. The SME players have expressed their willingness to get VAT registered in order to survive and added that VAT registrations will also increase the revenue to the government as well, the minister said.
Weather report.
The Met Department says several spells of showers will occur in the eastern and Uva provinces and in the Polonnaruwa and Matare districts. A few showers will occur in the Anuradhapura, Mureithivu and Hambantota districts. Showers or thundershovers will occur at several places in the western, Sabaragama and northwestern provinces and the Kandy, Nuwara Eliya, and Matare districts after 2 p.m. Misty conditions can be expected at some places in the central and Sabaragama provinces and the Gala and Matare districts during the morning. That was with the report, and now the headlines of this news broadcast once again. Sri Lanka celebrates the 76th Independence Day. The Prime Minister of Thailand participated in the National Independence Day celebrations as a guest of honor. World leaders congratulate Sri Lanka on their 76th Independence Day. 211 officers and 1,239 other ranks of the army promoted on the 76th Independence Day celebrations. The decision by the Ministry of Finance to fine 50,000 rupees on individuals above 18 years of age for not submitting a tax identification number was halted. Meta's CEO apologizes to families who say their children had been harmed by social media. That concludes this news broadcast. You are with Radio Sri Lanka.